I'm pleased to be here and to deliver possibly the first training on resulting features. So before we start, before we get into the business, I want to shortly introduce myself, and I also want to know who you are, because I would like to. Well, I won't be able to target the course to every single need, and you're always welcome to ask questions. But at least to know how many science and humanities and how many, and who are you, what kind of decision power you have, would be useful also to understand what kind of suggestion I can give you. So, my name is Abel, and I've been working in several universities. Now I'm based, I'm kind of swinging between, I'm mostly in Estonia, based in, I also work at universities. I've been working for the European Commission DG Research for a year. And I work also with several NGOs in the field also of education. It's mostly no formal education, but we also have access to the Erasmus program. I act as an assessor, evaluator for proposals. Actually, I might have seen some of your proposals because I was also acting as assessor for the Stability Foundation. And I prepared projects for the FP7 and Horizon 2020, getting around 10 million euro in funding in the past 7-8 years. Which doesn't mean that we know the time. This is something very important. To give an example, this year I didn't get anything. Now, the thing is, I don't think is that my job and our job is like to win all the time. But you don't win if you don't try. So the thing is just to make decisions and make strategic decisions about where to go and how to do. How many resources to devote, and to work out a strategy that in the long term is going to bring money. Now, university funding, when you go into open competition, is always like this. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose more than you win. Actually, I think I had a year when I was like winning almost everything. It was a very good year. But of course, you cannot have those all. Since we're going to work together for the next 2 days, at least with Mr. V, I'd like to hear who you are. So if you could just say name, so name, university, and field, and position, field, like I'm working here and there, that would be very useful. Can we start?
Sure. My name is Tinaia. I'm a doctor. I'm a neuroscientist, and I represent Denver actually in a biomedical center. So, and I also used to work in Kyrgyzstan and UK in France. Yes,
I'm from Agrarian University of Georgia. I'm an immunologist actually. I'm head of cellular immunology laboratory at Agrarian University.
Hi, my name is Salome Shadania. I work at Libya State University, Office of Development. We are in charge of developing proposals for various donors.
Hello, my name is Nina Janelice. I work at the Java Institute of Bacteriophages, Microbiology and Biology, and I'm a scientist.
I'm the
I'm from National Center of Manuscripts, which is the most important and leading institution for manuscript heritage study in Georgia.
Mariam Gaidamashvili, Tbilisi State University, Department of Biology. My field is plant physiology and plant biotechnology.
Good morning. My name is Marko Mikhaveridze, Secretary National Science Foundation Director.
My name is Nicholas Bakradze. I work at Chatham National Science Foundation in the Office of International Relations and Fundraising.
My name is Maria Mamashukeli. I represent the Center for Social Sciences, the Program of Higher Education, the Junior Researcher.
Good morning. My name is Diana Lijala. I also represent the same organization, Center for Social Sciences. I'm Administrative Director.
Michael Cipriani, from Agricultural University, scientist in biotechnology.
My name is Kritika Shuri. I am a program coordinator at Science Foundation. By profession, I am a life science project manager graduating from Karolinska.
Hello, I'm Eka Luxford from Florida State University, Faculty of Natural Sciences and Engineering. I'm a
Thank you for your introduction. Actually, I feel very honored to be here among some of the most prominent scientists of Georgia. I have to say, I'm a social scientist by training, but my background is very mixed. So I started with economics, then I moved into European studies, which will be considered kind of a branch of area and political science. My PhD is in anthropology. And then I worked in the Institute of Geography. And by doing this, I also happened to work with scientists from, I was part of the Scottish Principle, which was a program bringing together some of the most promising scholars in Scotland from whatever discipline. So I was working with medical students, with medical scholars, I was working with historians, I was working with anyone who was interested. And I'm now part of the Global Young Academy, to which I also like to promote because it's a way to connect with science all over the world. The deadline to apply is passed, but there should be another deadline next year. And it's a way to contribute to research policies at the European and world level. So there are people from, when we go, there was nobody from Georgia, there was people from Mauritius, from Ghana, from all over the world. And actually, I think we'll be very keen to have somebody from Georgia because there's no one. So please keep it in mind that it might be a very good opportunity to be able to rest the scientific community all around the world. I also, when somebody say, there the manuscript, I work with the Institute of Manuscript Intervention. So there were people coming from Georgia, but not necessarily from the Institute of Manuscript. Anyway, so we are, I see that here from the mix of universities and other institutions, we have a very diverse mix of needs and kind of policy. Which means if you have questions that are very, very specific, just ask them. Because I cannot possibly cover all the topics that all the very specific questions you might want to have. But if you have a question in those 2 days, you're very welcome to ask. And I'll try to be a bit more interactive. I'll try to ask questions because having you and I'm speaking for other 2 days is going to kill you, it's going to kill me. So I think there's an advantage in doing something a bit more together, so that you can also get the best from this event. So this year, this seminar was, this workshop was held as soon as Georgia signed the association agreement. So I guess you're aware that Georgia signed. Do you know what this means? Do you know what it means to sign an association agreement?
Maybe we can participate in Horizon 2020 as
Yeah.
well.
It gives you a status. In certain fields, it gives you a state of basically EU member. It kind of brings you at the level of the EU member state in certain fields to which you're going to contribute. It is probably based, it's based on the fact that there's going to be some interaction, there's going to be some kind of participation also from the budget level, but at the same time it's also going to bring you the advantages of being able to participate, not only to participate as a partner, because for instance I already work with the Center for Social Sciences and they can be a partner, but they cannot be a main applicant. So they cannot be the one that initiates an application, they cannot be the one that submit the application. We also have another project with Uli State University, and I think they were asking, how can we're going to write it together, but can you submit it formally? Because it was not me, it was some colleagues, but we cannot submit it, but it's easier if you do it. They did it in Newfoundland, so they're now working together. But it was always this kind of, you initiated in Georgia, but then you're not able to bring it again because you were not kind of full participant of this thing. So, in 2014, the Horizon 2020 was established. Now, Horizon 2020 is, have you